What's happening, guys? My name is Adam, aka Speedy Spectrum, and welcome back to Let's Play and Dub Pokémon Fire Red. In the last episode, we explored Sevii Island in its entirety. And in this episode, we're going to sail to the last island of the archipelago. That is Sevii Island. Get it? Because there are 7 islands and they're known as the Sevii Islands? I know, it's pretty obvious. Before I get too carried away, please be sure to leave a like or comment below and subscribe to my channel. Every one of those helps. Now back to adventure. Although Sevii Island doesn't look like much, it's a lot more expansive than you think it is. We have 2 different directions we could go. We could go up or we could go down. We're going to start by heading down and talking to this dude. This guy is a move tutor, and he will offer to teach one of your Pokemon Swords Dance. Swords Dance is an attack that increases the user's physical attack by 2 stages. So it's one of the better stat boosting moves. But I'm going to refuse his offer because I like my Pokemon's movesets as is. And honestly, I don't think any of them can learn Swords Dance in the first place. Now that we're at the canyon entrance, let's pull out a Max Repel. I have 7 Max Repels. That should be enough to last throughout the duration of the island. There are a lot of grassy patches here and also a lot of trainers, so be prepared to bring some items. Here in the Sea Vault Canyon, there are a few new Pokemon that we can catch. But first of all, a nugget. Very nice. Starting things off, we have Phanpy, number 231 in the Pokédex. Phanpy is a ground type, and it's overall pretty solid with great stats all around, with the exception of its speed. Both of its physical stats are pretty good, but its slowness definitely hinders it in battle, and also its move pool isn't as great as some other Pokemons. Still, it's pretty good, and I like it. But that is nothing compared to the excellence of our next entry. If you are lucky enough to be playing Fire Red like I am, then you can catch Skarmory. Number 227 in the Pokédex, Skarmory is a steel and flying type, and it is, without question, one of my favorite Johto Pokemon. As I mentioned, only encountered in Fire Red. Being a steel and flying type, it has tons of resistances. But the best thing about Skarmory is that mammoth physical defense. Skarmory can essentially shrug off physical attacks like they're nothing. And unlike the majority of physical walls, its attack is pretty darn good. Not to mention, it has an amazing move pool. It only has a handful of weaknesses, such as fire, but if you can somehow work your way around that, it's an amazing Pokemon, and one that can fit onto pretty much any team. If you're playing Leaf Green, you will instead encounter Mantine. Number 226 in the Pokédex, Mantine is a water and flying type. It's only encountered in Leaf Green, as I just mentioned, and where Skarmory's strength was its physical defense, Mantine specializes in special defense. It can shrug off a lot of special attacks and is a very underrated Pokemon in my opinion. It also has good HP to back up that special defense. But I'm not as big of a fan of Mantine because of its glaring weakness to electricity. Still, it can absorb 1 or 2 electric attacks, but not many. Nevertheless, I think Mantine is super underrated. It's honestly a great Pokemon. This is one of the few instances where neither version gets the short end of the stick. Nice to see. Thankfully, in both versions, you can encounter Larvitar. Number 246 in the Pokedex, Larvitar is a rock and ground type. Now this is a Pokemon worth talking about. It is very rare, and you can only catch it at level 15. But if you're patient with it, it will evolve into one of the most savage Pokemon you will ever encounter. It evolves into Pupitar at level 30, and that definitely takes some time, but when it evolves, it drops its ground typing in exchange for a dark type. Then it evolves again at level 55 into Tyranitar, and that's when it really gets good. Look at that physical attack. It is monstrous. And it also has really solid defense as well. Its stats are amazing when fully evolved. And Larvitar is one of the very few Pokemon whose ability changes as it evolves. It starts out with Guts, which is nice. Then when it evolves into Pupitar, it gets Shed Skin. And finally, when it evolves into Tyranitar, it gets the ultra cool ability of Sandstream, which starts a sandstorm the moment it's sent out. It wasn't until Gen 4 that we saw another Pokemon with that ability in Hippopotas and Hippowdon. But man, Tyranitar is an absolute beast. If there is any weaknesses that it has, it's the fact that it does have a lot of weaknesses, particularly to fighting. But if you can get past that, Tyranitar is king. Alright, that is it. As you can see, there is a cave here. Inside the cave is the Tanabe Key. We have an interesting puzzle, shall we say. If you've ever played Zelda, then you know where this is going. There are 7 holes and 7 boulders. You'll want to bring a Pokemon with strength, obviously. And yeah, you know where this is going. That one's pretty easy. The others are a little bit trickier. For these 2 side boulders, you'll want to make sure that they're in the holes up there. It's not a particularly difficult puzzle once you figure it out. Now for these boulders, we want to push that one to the side, hop down, then push it up. And do the same thing with the boulder on the left. And now that those boulders are in their proper place, the other 2 are pretty easy. I know when I first tried to solve this puzzle, it definitely took some time. A mysterious rumble echoed somewhere far away, and my sinuses are acting up. Lovely. Yeah, spring is coming in my neck of the woods, and unfortunately I'm allergic to pollen and dust, so if you hear me sneezing throughout this recording, I am sorry, there's really nothing I can do about it. And I've encountered a Fanpea, isn't that special? The only reason I encountered it was because I forgot to put up another Max Repel! Yay! Alright, let's go ahead and fix that little problem we've been having. I hate allergies. They're a pain in the butt to deal with, and they don't do me any favors. Kind of like a Magikarp with Splash. Alright, now here, amidst these rocks, is an item. If you have a Pokemon with Rock Smash and Strength, You can break and move these rocks and you will obtain the item King's Rock. The King's Rock is an in-game trade item that allows you to trade either Slowbro to evolve it into a... Slowpoke to evolve it into a Slowking, or a Poliwhirl, or it'll also allow you to trade a Poliwhirl so it evolves into Politoed. Again, both evolutions are only accessible once you get the National Pokédex. Now in here, we have an item on the table. This item is a Lucky Punch. Let's just go ahead and take a look at it. Right here. The Lucky Punch is an item that is only held by Chansey. And what it does is that it raises Chansey's critical hit ratio. I honestly don't know why they included this in the game, because increasing critical hits is nice, but why only Chansey? I just don't get it. And this dude is dancing. So we can dance the Chansey dance, and it will heal up all of our Pokemon. I guess this dude is supposed to be a Pokemon Center? I don't know. It might also increase your Pokemon's happiness, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Alright. Across these waters are the Tanabe Ruins. You will need to have solved the puzzle in the Tanabe key in order to unlock the true function of these ruins. There are different chambers amongst the Tanabe Ruins, and I will get into what they do momentarily, because I realized that I completely forgot to mention something. I'm going to look at my Pokédex for a bit, because off screen, remember that egg I received from that one dude? Well, guess what? After I walked a while, it hatched, and I just rocked my microphone back and forth. That's good for it, isn't it? That egg just so happened to hatch into Togepi. Togepi is number 175 in the Pokédex. It is a normal type, and that egg contains the only Togepi in the game. Togepi is noteworthy for being one of the first generation Pokemon revealed. In fact, it might have been the first one created. I can't remember if it was or not off the top of my head, but it's not really that great. Its stats are pretty low, and they don't get much better when it evolves into Togetic. Not to mention, it can't take hits well, and it doesn't have a good move pool. And that's a shame, because it's one of the few Pokemon armed with Serene Grace for an ability, which is, as I've mentioned before, a fantastic ability. Togepi definitely got a lot better in Generation 4 when it received Togekiss as an evolution, but here, it's not that great. Okay, now if we sail across, we can find even more ruins. Now back to what I was saying about the different chambers. As we can see, there are some mysterious symbols on the wall. Check it out. Once you have solved the puzzle of Tanabe Key, you have unlocked the secret of the chambers. The secret being Unown. Here's the deal about Unown. It is number 201 in the Pokédex. It is a psychic type, and it is awful. Its only attack is Hidden Power. Hidden Power is an attack that has a random type. It can't learn any other moves via leveling up or TM. It's really, really bad. But what is interesting about Unown are its different forms. there is one form for each letter of the alphabet, A to Z. And in Fire Red, Leaf Green, 2 more forms were added. A question mark and an exclamation point. Unown is definitely more interesting in the anime, as it played a major role in the 3rd Pokemon movie. And in that instance, they were described as being incredibly powerful, with the power to send people to other dimensions. But in the game, yeah, they are pretty downright terrible. I always found Unown to be rather fascinating, but for all the wrong reasons. Okay, we're almost done here on Sevii Island. I just need to quickly venture back up a bit and head back to town, because there's one other thing I want to show off while I am still here. And let's just put up another max repel, because I know for a fact that I'm going to have to go surfing in a bit. We're coming really close to the end of the post-game. In fact, after we leave Sevii Island, there are only a couple of things we need to do. But before we end the video, I want to surf up here. Now we're traveling up from town. And once we head upstairs, we can enter the Trainer Tower. In Pokemon Crystal, there was a facility called the Battle Tower, and the same concept is used again here in Fire Red and Leaf Green. The Trainer Tower is a facility where you can battle trainers, as the name suggests. There are different battle modes that you can partake in, and each mode has a default time. And if you cleared that mode before time runs out, you will be offered a rare in-game trade item as a reward. By that I mean you can win upgrades, metal coats, King's Rock, Dragon Scales, any item that would cause your Pokemon to evolve upon trading. And you can get as many of these as you want, provided you win the tower's challenge each time. Unlike the Battle Tower, however, your Pokemon won't be healed between battles. To compensate for this, you can use recovery items such as revives and potions. And if necessary, you can even return to the entrance to heal your Pokemon at the Pokemon Center. But to balance that out, it's going to waste more time in comparison to using items. One other thing I should mention is that battles conducted in the Trainer Tower will not award you any experience or money. And the level of the Pokemon used by the trainers will be equal to that of your highest leveled Pokemon. Furthermore, all trainers' Pokemon have held items which cannot be interfered with in any way, so moves like Thief, Covet, and Trick will not work here. I don't think I'm going to demonstrate the Trainer Tower in the main playthrough. Maybe I will show it off in a bonus video, but don't count on it. Okay, with all of that said, I think we are ready to end the video. So next time on Let's Play and Dub Pokemon Fire Red, we are going to return to the Kanto mainland to finish up the post game. It's still going to be a few videos, but we'll get there. See you guys next time.